Hey everybody, I hope everybody's doing well out there today. What we're going to do today is something a little bit different. We're not going to be using any pencils or crayons or color sticks. We're not going to use any drawing utensils. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is something different. We're going to create a paper sculpture by using just paper, scissors, glue, or if you don't have glue, even just tape or even staples, really. Anything you have around the house is going to make the paper stick. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways you can cut your paper to make it interesting. Now, this is going to be an abstract paper sculpture, so how you do it is going to be completely up to you. You could try all 3 ways, or you could do one that you really like and do it over and over and over to show repetition. It's totally your call. This is called an abstract paper sculpture. And we're going to get started in just one moment, so hold tight. All right, so what I have in front of me are a few different colored pieces of paper. Now, I just have colored pieces of paper, so it's a little bit easier to see on the video, but you can use just plain white. You can use lined paper. It really doesn't matter what color paper that you want to use. You can even use a crayon or marker if you want to fill a whole piece of paper up with color and then use it for the sculpture, but you don't have to either. You can use one solid color as well. But to get started, I want to show you the first way we can cut to create an interesting design on our paper. And I'm going to use this blue as my base. And I'm going to start with a white piece of paper. I'm going to start by cutting this white piece of paper in half from the bottom all the way to the top, because I don't need the whole thing right this second. I can use this piece later. I'm going to take this piece of paper with it still being vertical, being a tall piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in half. And then on that folded edge part, I'm going to start making some cuts. I'm not going to cut all the way. I'm just going to cut a little bit on all the way down this side of the folded edge. If I want to leave some space in between, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to leave some space. I don't want them too close. I don't want them too far, somewhere in the middle. Just like that. Now I have my cuts, and I'm going to create a pattern by the way I fold my piece of paper. I'm going to start with this very first one, and I'm going to fold up. The second one, I'm going to fold down. Fold up, fold down. Fold up, fold down, fold up, fold down, fold up. Now, if that seems a little tricky, ask somebody at home that's with you, your parent or guardian, to kind of help you out with that. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a pattern that you could see on the piece of paper. Almost like a zipper that's going down. And now I can kind of bend and fold this piece of paper on the base. I'm going to use a glue stick, and I'm going to put a glue dot on the bottom of the zipper. So I'm just going to kind of rub some glue on each one. And if you have a glue bottle, you could just put a little dot of glue on each square. Or if you have a piece of tape, or you have tape, you can put a piece of tape underneath each one. And then I'm just going to kind of bend this and fold this the way I want. And since it's glue stick, I got to make sure I kind of rub it down a little bit so it sticks. But now we're starting to create a 3-dimensional paper sculpture just from one cut that creates an interesting design on both sides of the line. So that's one way. If you want to pause the video and give that a try, go right ahead and you come back in just a moment, and I'm going to start the next method. Hey, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the next method, and now I have a red piece of paper for that one. Now with the red piece of paper, all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the shape. It could be a square, circle, triangle, but I'm going to start it kind of simple. And on this red piece of paper, I'm going to just cut a simple square. And again, this isn't scrap paper. I can still cut other pieces or cut other shapes out of this, so I'm just going to save it over here to the side. Now for my shape, this is a very simple way to cut, because all I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting into my square, and then I'm going to follow the edge. And my cut is going to get smaller and smaller, kind of like a spiral line, but this has got square edges. I'm going to keep making my way all the way around. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until I can get it as small as I can. There we go. So So now what I've been able to do is create a 3D effect, again, using that square and stretching the paper out. So what I'm going to do is at the very beginning, base part of this square, I'm going to flip it over real quick. I'm going to use my glue stick. I only need to glue down part of it. I don't need to glue down the whole thing. So I just put glue right there on this line. I'm going to glue that down and smooth it out. But then I'm going to stretch this shape. Now you can leave it so it's kind of bouncy and it's still coming up off the paper, creating that 3D effect. That's fine, but I'm going to take mine, I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to put actually a little bit of glue at the very top of it because I'm going to bend it over and stretch it across my paper. And now it kind of creates a square spiral from one side to the other. And again, you could do that with any shape, square, circle, triangle. You're just going to follow that shape and get smaller and smaller and smaller, much like what we've practiced in class before. So if you want to go ahead and give that a try, you go ahead, pause the video, give it a try, and I'll be back with the third one in just a moment. Hey, welcome back. I'm ready to show you guys the final and third way that you could create this 3D abstract paper sculpture by just some simple little cutting tricks. So for this last one, what we can do is I just have this scrap yellow piece of paper, because you don't have to have a full piece of paper or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to cut this in half. I'm going to need half of it right now. And I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm going to put a line of glue at the top of my paper. And then you can use dots of glue if you have a glue bottle, or you can use tape once again. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to bend. I'm not going to fold. I'm just going to bend this piece of paper. I'm going to hold it down. We usually count to what? We usually count to 20. So I'm going to bend it so it makes kind of like a loop. I didn't fold it flat. It's just a loop. And I have stopped counting, so I'm going to guess I'm about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think that's good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors, and now with it bended, I'm just going to make little cuts from that bended part, not all the way up to where my glue is, but just a little bit to create what's called a fringe. Just like that. We can bend those back to keep that loop appearance. But then how do I get this to here? So I'm going to take my glue stick, put another line of glue on the very back of it at the top where the straight line is. Twist it back down. Put my cap back on. Let's put this one diagonal right here. And again, I got to count to 20. That's right. And then I can go back and bend these loops, pop them back up just like that, to create this fringed texture on my sculpture. So what I could do is take all those extra pieces of paper, like I have this yellow one, go back and keep adding more and more texture, either the tab cut, the spiral cut, or the fringe cut, to add to my piece of paper. And there you have it, your three-dimensional paper sculpture. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That was something a little bit different. I wanted to get away from all the drawing stuff and do something with the little cutting and gluing and creating. I know it can be frustrating for some of you. If it gets frustrating, just walk away from it. Don't worry about it. Just give it a try if you get a chance. Show me what you've been doing. If you put one together, if you made one, show me in Google Classroom. If you haven't, no big deal. If you've been drawing or painting something else, take a picture, share with me. I want to see what you guys have been doing. Show me what you've been creating. So I hope you guys are doing well. Stay healthy. Hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Have a good day.